pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and your glory, and we thank you, Father, for the completed work of Jesus Christ on the cross. And as we pray tonight, Father, we pray for our entire system, for our community, and we pray for our students, the employees of this system, and we pray for this board, Father, that you would give us wisdom as we do the work of the board here tonight. We pray, Father, for everyone here gathered in this room, for those that are honored and celebrated, that you would just bless them in a mighty and powerful way. And we thank you, Father, for all your many blessings. We pray that you would bless us so that we would be a blessing to you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Please join with me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
1.02, the approval of the minutes of the regular session of the board for April 5th, 2018. I have a motion by Mr. Lott and a second by Mr. Wiggins for the vote. The motion passes. 1.03, approval of the agenda for the regular session of the board, April 19th, 2018.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Mazura and a second by Mr. Cheatham. Please vote. We get it right. Motion passes. 2.01, recognition, BPS I CAN Awards, presented by Jill Hunter, SPED Facilitator.
Good evening. Thank you, Board and Mr. Smith, for allowing us the opportunity to celebrate our first annual I CAN Awards for students with significant disabilities and autism. Before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize our leaders in the special ed department. We have tonight our director, Lillian Hawley, is on the front row. Ms. Hawley, would you please stand? I would also like to introduce our supervisors, Ms. Kimberly Stafford and Mr. Ross Boyette. Our pupil appraisal supervisor, Ms. Shawn Marsala, was unable to be in attendance tonight. Also in attendance, we have special ed program managers, coordinators, facilitators, and other pupil appraisal staff. Would you guys please stand as well? These individuals, we all work tirelessly behind the scenes and in the schools to help all of our students with disabilities to succeed both in and out of the classroom. Tonight we're going to celebrate the successes of students with significant disabilities and autism. We have some amazing students here in Bossier Parish who have overcome many obstacles so that they've been able to show that they can succeed just like their peers in academics, athletics, arts, school organization, in community involvement, and in transition of vocational activities. At this time, I would like to recognize the parents of these students who are being recognized tonight. If you have a child being honored tonight, would you please stand? as we work together for their benefit. It takes an entire team to help all of our kids to reach their full potential, and we appreciate you guys working with us all these years. Our teachers and service providers and our parents and school administrators, without you pushing and challenging these students to meet their potential, tonight would not be possible. So thank you so much for your amazing job that you do in the schools every day. My coworker Teresa Dahl is going to help me present the awards. Teresa is our Significant Disabilities Coordinator. So she has a big passion for working with all of our kids who have the big needs, and I just love working with her. Our first award is going to go to Miss Ayana Kennan. Ayana is a 5th grader at Apollo Elementary in Miss DeCharo's class. She's a great student who comes to school every day with a smile on her face. She's a hard worker and loves to read. She's never given up, and she can now read just about any word that's being put in front of her. She walks around the school reading everything. Ayana has worked very hard and is deserving of the I Can Award. Her teacher is so proud of her and all of the work that she has done. With all of the students, just so we can move through a little faster. Our next winner is Carson Glascock. He's a 5th grader at Apollo. Carson was nominated by his 5th grade peers for excelling in athletics. He's been their friend since kindergarten, and over the years he's proven he can do anything that every other kid can do. He always encourages them anytime there's a competition, and you can see that he cheers on his team and is very competitive. Carson participates in many sports and activities. He's a member of the Front 9 Tour of Shreveport-Bossier. He participates in FCA, Run and Fit, football, basketball, and wrestling with Special Olympics. Congratulations, Carson. Glenn Beck is a 2nd grader at Bel Air. He was nominated by his teacher, Miss Latondia Johnson. Glenn wasn't able to write sentences or a story on his own at the beginning of the school year, and he's now able to write paragraphs about a given topic or a picture. He also tells about field trips or events that he considers significant. All of the staff at Bel Air are very proud of how far he's come. Carter Harris from Bossier Elementary was nominated by Miss Alice Matlock, and he is unable to be in attendance tonight, but he is receiving an award for improving in academics and communication. Taylor Strange from Kerr Elementary is a 5th grader who was nominated by Miss Gloria Ayers. As a 1st grade student, Taylor struggled with academics, adjusting to school expectations and social interactions with peers and adults. His grades suffered and he continued to struggle academically. As the years progressed, Taylor's grades began to improve. And he's been able to grow academically and socially. He's made numerous friends that are always there to help him. He's come so far, and it has been a joy watching him learn and grow. Kelsey Maxwell is a 4th grader from Kingston Elementary. She was nominated by Miss Tammy Reyna. Ms. Reyna is proud to nominate Kelsey for her academic growth in math. She's overcome many obstacles regarding memory and concentration. She's achieved all of her math goals and is a joy to work with. Kendall Pope is a 3rd grader at Plantation Park Elementary, and she was nominated by her principal, Miss Tanya Hilburn. Kendall is deserving of this award because of her enthusiasm and dedication to helping the community. She's overcome many obstacles in the area of social skills. She serves in the community in various ways. Some examples are singing Christmas carols to the nursing home, visiting residents in the retirement home to cheer them up, and going out into the community to complete random acts of kindness. Plantation Park is very proud of Kendall. Next we have Hunter Cobley from Princeton Elementary. He was nominated by Miss Christina Shaw. Hunter, Ms. Shaw says, have you ever met someone who immediately makes your day every time you encounter them? Hunter has a bright smile and a positive attitude, and he greets everyone on campus warmly and usually has a good story to tell. Hunter participates in 4-H or in a club called Outdoor Sports, and he excels in activities in that organization every month at school. Roderick Johnson is a second grader at Stockwell Place who was nominated by Ms. Lauren Nelson, who's a speech therapist. She's been working with Roderick for nearly 2 years, and he was primarily nonverbal. He was able to communicate with some gestures and get his simple wants and needs across. Lauren had recently started using a device with Roderick, and he has found his voice. Abigail Sherwin was nominated by her teacher at W.T. Lewis, Miss Diana Sylvander. Abigail's made huge progress in 2nd grade. At the beginning of the year, she could hardly read any kindergarten sight words and was working on matching sight words to the pictures. At the end of 2nd grade, she was already reading 1st grade sight words and short stories, and now at the end of 3rd grade, she is reading grade level sight words and is able to read short stories and take AR tests independently. Good job, Braden Noel, a 6th grader at Benton Middle School, was nominated by his teachers, Miss Sue Ellen Bates and Holly Leone. At the beginning of the year, Braden did not attend to his work, and as time went on, they realized he loved art. They tapped into his love for art, which in turn affected his academic performance and willingness to participate in schoolwork. They are so proud of Braden's progress this year. Alex White is a 7th grader at Poe Middle School. He was nominated by his teacher, Mr. Chad Patterson. Alex has a tremendous talent for creating detailed worlds using Microsoft Paint. He creates incredible images from his imagination by using the paintbrush and then stacking each image on top of each other until jaw-dropping 3D images emerge from his screen. He then records music from the internet or his classmate, Tamia, while scanning the images with the classroom iPad. This makes Alex not only amazingly talented and a detailed artist, but also a master of multimedia production. Ava Bullock is an 8th grader at Elm Grove Middle School in Miss Stephanie Schoper's class. Ava transitioned to Elm Grove from Cope this year, and her first few days of school were a little challenging. Her parents, Mrs. Schoper's parents, and her quickly had to learn Ava's communication signs, and there were frustrating days for her. However, a few weeks into school, they all got on the same page, and Ava is one of their most behaved students. She's transitioned very well to her new school, and they've been so proud of her. DJ Watson, in the 7th grade at Green Acres, was nominated for this award by Miss Lisa Richardson. After struggling in elementary school and even in 6th grade, DJ has made a complete turnaround as a 7th grade student at Green Acres. Socially, he has grown and is making friends in his gifted class. According to his AIM teacher, Mr. Owens, DJ is creative, inquisitive, and excelling academically. He is in a constant state of creating, whether it is in art, academic projects, or hands-on activities. Bailey Stanford is an 8th grader at Green Acres who was nominated by Ms. Kathy Einerson. Bailey was homeschooled during her 6th grade year due to several issues. She came to Green Acres in 7th grade. She had some difficulty adjusting, but through expressing herself in talented theater as well as art class, Bailey has made tremendous progress. She volunteers with the Bossier Alive group by contributing art and entrepreneurship ideas, as well as participating in different venues to sell her art. Bailey deserves to be a recipient of this award because she's determined to succeed with art and life. Devin Perrodin at Houghton Middle School is an 8th grader, and his teacher nominated him, Ms. Cherie Thomas. Devin is an 8th grade honor roll student at Houghton, and about a year ago, he began taking saxophone lessons, which he has tremendously excelled in. He loves to entertain family and friends with his beautiful music. Devin deserves to be a recipient of this award because he is a hard worker in his academic work and a tremendous musician. He will no doubt continue to do great things in the future. Sarah Hudson is a freshman at Airline High School, and she was nominated by her teacher, Ms. Stephanie Allen. Sarah has been a proud member of the Airline High School Pep Squad. She's enjoyed cheering for the Vikings at all the football and basketball games. She has really enjoyed going to the pep rallies to help prepare her team for the game. Airline is proud to have Sarah cheer them on. Go Vikes! Jordan Maurer is a 12th grade student at Airline who was nominated by her teacher, Mr. John Walden. Even though Jordan suffered a traumatic brain injury and is legally blind, she has maintained a high GPA throughout her years at Airline. She's demonstrated a strong work ethic by working in the student office as well as at Louisiana Association for the Blind. Her joyous personality and infectious smile make her an inspiration for all teachers and students at Airline. DeAndre Franklin is a sophomore at Benton High School, and he was nominated by his teacher, Ms. Tundra Target. DeAndre has made great strides this year. Since beginning community-based vocational training off campus, his grades and attitude have tremendously improved. His supervisors at Subway in Benton rave about his work ethic and are so impressed that they have offered him a paid position for the summer. Vincent Jennings is a senior at Bossier High. He was nominated by Ms. Sharon Hahn-Smith. Ms. Hahn-Smith says she's rarely found a student that exhibits such attention to detail, high level of job skills, self-motivation, and independence on the community-based vocational training job site as Vincent. He has handled difficult situations, such as independently contacting employer for absences and schedule changes with remarkable maturity. Vincent has served as a manager for various stores and organizations around campus, and he participates in CVVT at Nichols Oil, and he was recently offered a permanent position with them. He also works at his family-owned roofing company, and he is currently enrolled at Bixtel, where he is studying welding. Vincent hopes to continue welding after graduation at Houston's Technical College. Next we have Paul Marshall, a junior at Houghton High. He was nominated by Ms. Valette Weaver, his Biology 2 teacher. Paul deserves this award for all the things he has taught me and his fellow students in second block Biology 2. Paul has taught us others are sometimes more important than ourselves. He has taught my class, my students, patience, love, and humor. Just some of the many things that will last them a lifetime and can never be measured by a standardized test. Through Paul, I have had the pleasure of witnessing boys and girls grow into compassionate young men and women with a willingness to help him with his work and do theirs for homework, which is completely selfless. He has taught my students more in 9 weeks than I would ever accomplish in a lifetime. Tiana Adams from Parkway High School, nominated by Ms. Roxanne Reeder. I don't think she was able to be here tonight, but she was nominated for her improvement in academics and also in transition. Deshandria Daniels, in 11th grade from Plain Dealing High School, was nominated by Ms. Madeline Russo. Shannon Daniels is a wonderful, energetic young lady. I've had the pleasure of having her in my class for 6 years. We have a cookie and brownie business, and she works the hardest of all of my students. If anything needs to be done, Shannon is right there, ready to tackle the job. I sometimes have to tell her to sit down and let someone else work. Heather Simons is in the CLIP program. She was nominated by her teacher, Ms. Kelly Boyder. Heather participates in the Louisiana Northwest Special Olympics. She's on the powerlifting team and has won numerous local, regional, and state medals. After only 2 years in the CLIP program, Heather transferred mid-year to the BPSB program. She's worked at a local daycare and restaurant as internships for CLIP. Good job. Anita Woolley is also a student in the CLIP program, and she serves on the Plain Dealing Volunteer Fire Department. Anita has been working with the department since she was a freshman in high school, and she has gained certifications required to be a firefighter and continues to work in her community helping others. She hopes to take classes at Bixville in the fall, and she will be applying to Bixby's College Transition Program next year. Anita hopes to gain additional certifications to earn a spot on her local fire department. And I just added this today. Just recently, she earned a certification as a licensed EMS practitioner in the state of Louisiana. Roxanne Santignan is a sophomore in the PSE program. She was nominated by Mr. Zach Burson. Roxanne has demonstrated a strong commitment to developing her work readiness skills through involvement in the Program for Successful Employment at Bixby and in the Community-Based Vocational Training Program for Bossier Parish Schools. She's been working at All About Kids this term and has readily met the expectations of the staff supervisor. She has applied to attend the Barber Styling and Cosmetology program at Bixby. While we're up here, I want to say a big thank you to all of our area business partners who allow our students to come in and work in internships and in paid employment positions for our students. Without that partnership with those area businesses, this wouldn't be possible. And our transition coordinator, Mr. Zach Burson, if you see him, he's on 3 phones at one time, and he is planning for multiple kids all throughout the day to make those job opportunities possible for our students. Big round of applause for that. And thank you for allowing us to hold our awards night tonight.
Before everybody runs out, I'm going to tell you this is one of my favorite type of recognitions because these kids, young adults, have overcome some challenges that, a lot of us take for, I don't think about. But yet, they're happy. I see smiles. It's just amazing. For those of you that don't know, and you can Google this, I'm not crazy, or maybe you're a little, but today's National High Five Day. And so, all this applause is cool, but I just wish we were on the floor doing that with these kids. But and it's true, it is. April 19th of 2018. So give some of these kids a high five on the way out. Congratulations to all of you. We're so proud of you.
I'll be quick. This is another reason to be so proud of your parish when you see evenings like this, lifting these kids up and showing them off, in front of this group of people here. A couple of them I know well, the Bullets and Hudson and Carson, I'm coming after some of those medals too, buddy. So don't wear them to church, I may get them from you. So congratulations to all the recipients.
Thanks, President. From the Moondog, I say roses are red and violets are blue. I thank God for each one of you.
On behalf of the whole school board, we would like to thank all of the people, the teachers and the aides and all of the people that work with all of our children. Thank you for your dedication, for your hard work, and for your love of kids. Thank you. To all of you that got awards tonight, that is so great. Thank you for being in Bossier Parish. We are so proud. Thank you. 2.02 recognition of Bossier Retired Teachers Scholarship recipients. Presented by Myra Odom, Bossier Retired Teachers Association.
Board President, Brothers, Superintendent Smith, and audience. I'm Myra Odom, and I'm the Scholarship Committee Chairperson for the Bossier Retired Teacher Association. As retired teachers of Bossier Parish, we are excited to be here tonight to make this presentation on behalf of our association. Helping present the scholarships tonight will be our BRTA President, Ms. Annette Lee. The Bossier Parish Retired Teacher Association will present 5 $250 scholarships tonight. The criteria for applying was to be a senior in Bossier Parish High Schools, a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, planning to pursue a bachelor's degree in education at a Louisiana college or university, and commit to entering the teaching profession. When your name is called, if you will come to the front to receive your certificate and an information packet, which is very important that you return the information packet to me, so make sure you open that manila envelope. Please remember to stay at the front so we can have a group picture at the end. And I ask that you stand in the order in which I called your name. And the reason is 2 years ago, someone brought a picture to me 2 weeks ago and said, okay, 2 years ago, what were their names and in what order were they? And I went, I don't know. So please, just line up in the order in which I call you. The
All of the 5 recipients had high GPAs, and they had wonderful ACT scores, academic awards and honors, and involvement in numerous school organizations and community involvement. Our first recipient is from Airline High School to Emily Nicole Selmer. Emily attends Airline High School and will be attending Louisiana Tech University in elementary ed. Emily took Intro to Teaching class offered at Airline High School and worked with a 3rd grade teacher at Apollo last semester. The teacher stated Emily is an outstanding, enthusiastic young woman who's been an asset to her and her classroom this school year. She already exhibits characteristics of an excellent teacher and demonstrates the beginnings of excellent classroom management. Emily stated teaching has always been her passion, and her dream would be to come back to the Bossier area and teach at Apollo one day. Congratulations, Emily. Michaela Renee Goff is from Benton High School, and she will be attending Northwestern State University in secondary music education. She wants to be a teacher because she wants to help students become what they want to become. Michaela stated, if it was not for my teachers, I do not think I would be the person I am today. Teachers help create the people these kids will become. Teachers are the ones who make the military, the police force, the fire station, and the hospital. Teachers are the real heroes in everyone's story, just not everyone sees it. That is who I want to be. I want to be that unsung hero. I want to be the one who watches over the students and be the guiding light in the dark tunnel. All I ever wanted to do since a young age was help people, and that is what I'm going to do as a teacher. Shelby Lynn Jeter from Bossier High School. Shelby will be attending Southern University in Baton Rouge in secondary business education. Shelby stated being considered a leader is a privilege. Knowing that you can create a bond and play a part in someone's character, future, and ability to apply themselves is a blessing, which makes you feel important because you have contributed in molding the future politicians, business owners, and teachers of the world. I chose teaching as my field of study because I was always considered a leader based on my grades and behavior. Growing up with a lot of young siblings helped me realize that whatever you do or say, someone's watching you, and whether you know it or not, there's always someone in the world that wants to be like you. Teachers are strong individuals who enjoy encouraging and pushing children to be the best they can be in life. Teachers are not always just looked upon as an educator of core concepts, but also lessons on how to endure through the hard times in life. Congratulations, Shelby. From Houghton High School, we have Chloe DeLon Lewis. Chloe will attend Louisiana Tech University, majoring in elementary education. She stated, throughout elementary school, I loved all my teachers so much. They inspired me every day and always pushed me to do my best. I remember always wanting to be just like them when I grow up, and I think that plays a major role in why I desire to go into the field of education. In my opinion, becoming a teacher is one of the most rewarding jobs a person could obtain. Teaching makes such a difference in a child's life. A person may never know what a child is experiencing at home. The possibility that I could be a positive influence in a student's life is something that drives me to become the best teacher I can be. I am determined to be the difference in my future student's life. I am ready to teach my students lessons and are ready for the lessons they may teach me. Congratulations, Chloe. From Parkway High School, we have Holly Ann Crosby. Holly will attend Northwestern State University in secondary art education. She stated, for as long as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist. Then in high school, I realized that I couldn't afford to live off of my artwork. So I decided to get serious about my future plans. I decided to become a high school teacher, an art teacher to be exact. I am very passionate about art. Bifocals are terrible, folks. I am very passionate about art. I enjoy showing people how different the world can be through art, and not everyone will become a great artist like Leonardo da Vinci. Some will only take the class to pass high school, but to give someone the chance to create something on their own is the greatest feeling in the world. The joy on their face when they create something they are truly proud of. Congratulations. We know that these students had strong support from their homes and from the schools. So if you're here supporting one of these students, would you stand, please? Counselors, principals, parents. A special thank you to the Bossier Parish teachers who have influenced these students, because in reading their scholarship applications, they all mention their teachers who had influenced them. Also, I'd like to thank the school board for letting us be here tonight to present. We appreciate that. And if we could get a group picture of this group right quick, Kathy, before we leave.
We hope that you young ladies that just received these scholarships will come back to Bossier Parish when you finish college. We would love to have you come back and teach here. Next. 2.03, recognition. Bossier Parish School Board Scholarship recipient presented by Eric Newman, Scholarship Committee Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam President. If I could have Madam President and Mr. Smith down here to help present these next awards here. Pull this back. It is our honor and privilege to recognize these students this evening. We have several of them that are going to be receiving scholarships from the school board this year. Before we do that, I want to acknowledge our sponsors of our scholarship fund. We collected well over $10,000, and due in part largely to these sponsors I want to read off. We have Home Federal Bank, Boggs and Poole Contracting Group, Doug Rogers Incorporated, W.G. Yates and Sons Construction, SGB Architects, Citizens National Bank of Bossier City, Sutton Beebe Babin Architects, Hammond Sills Atkins and Geis, Kevin Bryan Architect, and the Bossier Association of Educators. And we also want to recognize Ms. Barbara Workman and the Pat Workman Scholarship, and Mr. Henry Burns and the Mildred and A.J. Burns Scholarship, Memorial Scholarship Fund. We're going to start tonight with the Pat Workman Memorial Scholarship. These two students will receive $500. This scholarship was established in 2010 by Barbara Workman in memory of her husband, Pat Workman. And it is given to a Bipstal student who is going into any health-related field at a Louisiana post-secondary institution. And this year's recipients are from Airline High School, Kia Johnson. Here, Kim. Come on up. Sit. And next we have Ashley Hawkins from Airline High School. All right, for this next one, I'd like to ask anybody with the Burns family. I see Mr. Burns right here on the front row, and from what he told me, he wanted to invite his daughter-in-law, who is also a Bossier Parish educator, up here to make him look good, I think. So this is the Mildred and A.J. Burns Memorial Scholarship. This is a $500 award, and it is awarded to a student who is majoring in education and will be attending Northwestern State University in Natchitoches. And this year's recipient is from Parkway High School, Mr. Tyler Crudoff. Let's give one more round of applause for the Pat Worthing Memorial Scholarship. All right, next we're going to move on to the board scholarships. These next two individuals will be receiving a $500 board scholarship. These two students attended Bipstal and will be pursuing a health field related career. And our first one is Miss Elizabeth Glover. I hope I pronounced that right. Miss Elizabeth Glover from Benton High School. Recipient is Miss Lauren Tompkins from Halton High School. All right, our next three recipients will be receiving a $1,500 scholarship. Our next recipient from Parkway High School, Miss Sherry Shaw. All right, our next recipient from Benton High School, Michaela LaRue. recipients tonight will be receiving a $2,750 scholarship. And the first recipient is Miss Chloe Lewis from Alton High School. All right, our next recipient from Airline High School, Miss Emily Selmer. Let's give all these folks a round of applause. All these recipients had to go through an evaluation process. They had to submit an application with different, I guess, evaluations, so to speak. But they'll all be going into either a health-related field or an education field. It's in the very, 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 very small print on the back. We'd like you to come back to vote your parish. We're like bringing people back home. But congratulations to all of you, and good luck in the future. Madam President.
2.04 recognition, Mosier Parish School. Good news, presented by Sonia Bell, our Public Relations Liaison.
Good evening, President Brotherton, Superintendent Smith, all of our school board members, and all of our guests here in the audience this evening. Well, we have so much good news. No, let me backtrack on that. We have so much great news, obviously, going on throughout the district, as you have seen throughout tonight with the ICANN Awards and our scholarship recipients, and this is just a continuation of all of that. First of all, I want to ask, did anyone happen to watch American Idol this past Monday night? Yeah? So you already know the secret, but you'll remember at the last school board meeting, you were able to meet Benton High senior Garrett Jacobs, our very own American Idol contestant, who received the golden ticket to go to Hollywood. Well, Monday was a big night because that pool of about 24 contestants shrank to 14, just 14. And in case you missed it, we want to bring you up to speed.
Garrett.
Very, very exciting. Our own Garrett Jacobs, yes, heads into the live competition this Sunday night. And his mom, Robin, who, by the way, works in our school system, she works at Curtis Elementary, said that he's actually been in Los Angeles the past couple of weeks rehearsing and getting ready for the big moment. In fact, he had to miss his senior prom and senior project as well. He had to turn it in even earlier just to be able to be in LA in time. But, you know, it's up to us now to help him make the cut beyond Sunday night, because this is where America gets to weigh in and vote. So I want to encourage everybody before Sunday night, first of all, this is how we can support our own hometown guy, Garrett Jacobs. First of all, you download the American Idol app, and you create an account using an email address. And then they're going to give a special code on Sunday night. Watch at 7 o'clock on ABC. You can vote up to 10 times on the app. You can also go to the website that you see there on your screen and log in. You have up to 20 times and maybe even 30 times to vote according to each email address that you have. But please help support our hometown American Idol contestant, Garrett Jacobs. We are hoping that he goes all the way
and will be the next American Idol. This is pretty exciting stuff. So we've got our fingers crossed for Garrett. You know, someone else who has her own legion of fans is Plantation Park Elementary Principal Tanya Hilburn. Miss Hilburn is the definition of a game changer. Since taking the reins at Plantation Park, she has been on fire, motivating her faculty and staff, as well as her students and also her parents, beyond what anybody can imagine. Plantation Park has approved a letter grade. It has been named a Path to Excellence school, and just earlier this week, Step Forward announced that the Literacy Volunteer Program at PPE has been implemented with such fidelity and has been so successful in helping struggling readers improve and become proficient with their literacy skills that Plantation Park model is being replicated next year at all of the schools that Step Forward has in its network. That's quite the compliment. And then there is the community outreach that Mrs. Hilburn and her faculty and staff make purposeful practice. They routinely reach out beyond the schoolhouse walls, and they go into their community to give back. And you know, it's funny how that works, because those giving receive the blessings too. And that has resulted in a level of engagement that the North Point Community Church took notice of recently. It is why they have named Tanya Hilburn their 2018 Girl on Purpose. Take a look at this video.
So when I came to Plantation Park, one of the things I noticed right off is we're in an inner city neighborhood, and that there was a lot of, circumstances that I may not have personally have experienced that my students were going through, and so I felt the need to research ways that we could have a greater impact on them and help them understand that, again, they're worth it, and that if you can connect them with the right people who impact their lives, then we can make a difference. And that's really the big thing, the relationships that are formed is the biggest reward, because years later, we're planting these seeds that we may not see come, full circle, but 10 years down the road, when that kid you had, 10 years ago comes back and says, "Remember that time you told me I could do this and this?" Guess what I did? We had our first student at Plantation Park that went on to be a doctor, and so that was really exciting for us. That's so important too, teaching them that even though we're constantly finding resources to give to them, I want to teach them to give back. And so that's another thing we have to, we call them do-good days, and we go throughout the community and we do stuff like the kids do. So they leave surprises at the park. We go pay somebody's layaway off, and the kids raise the money by making friendship bracelets. We do a lemonade stand. We have a jean day, and they raise all that money, and then they pick what we're going to do. So we give them some ideas, but one time they did stuffed animals. They went to the mall and set up and just sold, gave the little kids, they saw stuffed animals. They went to the fire station and gave them donuts. They went to North Point, gave them a cookie tray. People that have done things for us and wanted to show them what it feels like. And some of them got really emotional. My fifth graders like, "Oh my goodness, this is what it feels like to give back instead of always being on the receiving end." So that's kind of a neat thing. We always want to teach them, both ends of it. When it's school time, and I'm going to give it all. That's one thing that whichever element I'm in, I'm going to give it 100%. But, every good thing and every good deed is worth the sacrifice.
This is our 2018 Girl on Purpose. She also received $1,000 for Plantation Park and an Office Depot gift card, I believe, so that can definitely be put to good use. And I noticed that one of your students who was recognized earlier today is also on your random acts of kindness, in your group. So I tell you what, it's awesome. And yes, they party at Plantation Park, but they party with a purpose. Oakwood Schools and Caldwell Bay district that truly excel at the highest level. And so there is no doubt that she should have several of these actually hanging around her neck. But it is my honor to award you this Award of Excellence to our Girl on Purpose. We are very, very proud of her. And go Plantation Park! You know, there are so many others throughout our district that work tirelessly to ensure our students have every chance to be successful, and their learning environment has a lot to do with that as well. Over the weekend, the tornado that came through did quite a number on a couple of our schools, particularly Russian Middle School and Meadowview Elementary. And to give you an idea of the extent of damage, these are photos that you're looking at, and also video in just a moment from Russian, where the roof was blown off one wing, resulting in extensive damage, including flooding throughout one of the wings. 3 air conditioners were damaged, there were gas leaks, there were live electrical wires. You get the picture, it was a hot mess. Couple that with another 3 or 4 HVAC units burning up at Meadowview. But I tell you what, by Monday morning, you would never have known any of that happened because Bossier School's maintenance department jumped into action. And they spent the entire weekend, some very, very long hours, making the needed repairs to make sure that our students had their classrooms to be able to return to Monday. And keep in mind, testing began Monday. They did not skip a beat at these schools, though. Maintenance Supervisor Stacy Roger, who happens to be a master electrician, dealt with the live wires first and deemed it safe before his crew got to work. And, of course, that also includes, as you can see, the custodial staff there at Russian, as well as several of their teachers, administrators. And though this was not a typical situation for Bossier Schools, the hard work and the long hours that you see here in this video and in these photos exemplifies what is typical of our maintenance department, because they truly are rock stars. They are unsung heroes. So I would like to ask those here tonight to come forward when I call your name, because we also want to award them the Award of Excellence. First of all, Glenn Barrett, Buddy Kramer, Rodney Greer, Roderick Harris, David Hartso, Keith Hendricks, Roy Johnson, Gene Keller, Joe Kirchhoff, Earl Riley, Johnny Saxton, Perry Saxton, Bubba Sheffield, Robert Sessions, Joseph Tarabella, Lambert Tasby, Michael White, Stacy Roger, Tim Dupree, Joey Burrows, Randy Rhodes, Neil McMahon, Chris Alexander, Cody Grider, Douglas Crooks, and Tony Weaver. As you can tell, there was a huge response this past weekend from our maintenance department, burning the midnight oil, getting our schools back in shape. Let's give them a big round of applause.
seen what that place looked like early that morning after that straight inline wind came in and tore up that roof, and the rain that poured down through those classrooms, the live wires, the gas that was leaking from the air conditioning units that had tipped over, and Stacy coming in with his entire crew. It was incredible, because what they did over 2 days, I went there actually early Sunday morning and before church, and they were all there working early Sunday morning until late Sunday afternoon. Monday morning, you would have never known anything had occurred. That's the kind of maintenance department we have under the direction of Mr. Stacy Roger. And I mean, they're just to be commended beyond belief. And I do want to say something. I know that Plantation Park Elementary left, but under the direction of Tanya Hilburn and Assistant Principal Kim Hawkins, it is amazing what they do out there in that community. Now, this is a school, I actually attended that school. It has over a 90% poverty rate. They do not wait until those parents in the community comes to them. They go out to the community. They knock on the doors. I've actually seen the things they put on the doors as a community outreach. They're coming back in. Hoping they didn't completely leave. But I want the teachers of Plantation Park Elementary, under the direction of Ms. Hilburn and Ms. Hawkins as assistant principal, y'all are amazing what you do with community outreach out there, because I've seen what you've done, and it's something that every school in the parish can emulate. So thank you. Thank you very much.
I just want to say one thing too, not to make this a long run out deal, but the maintenance guys, we can't thank you enough. Your skill sets and your ability to show up and get jobs done, we can't thank you enough. We're so proud to have you guys, and we'll be behind you the next time it happens too. So good job. Ms. Hilburn, this isn't fair for me to say, but you are one of my favorite employees. You're one of my favorite principals. I'm sorry, you might fall outside my district, I don't care. But we follow you. We see what you do in the community. We see what your teachers have bought into. We see how you're not only just a principal leader, you're a witness in that community. You've just got this package and something about you that is just nothing but cool. And I think everybody wants some of it, So, me in particular, can't thank you enough. I mean, there's sometimes I think you're crazy when I see you. and it was fully confirmed when you hired Hawkins. So here's the deal. We love you guys, and it just makes me want to show up, step up, help any way that I can. But just know you and your crew, you're so appreciated. I mean, it's just so touching, and so. But you got a great leader. So we'll just retire and keep her there forever. Thank you.
Well, hopefully they won't go away, because someone else who is an unsung hero who I'd love for you to get to know is Richard Singleton, and he is a janitor at T.L. Rhodes Elementary. In fact, one teacher calls him the quiet hero of their school, not only keeping their grounds immaculate, but also tying shoes and playing dress up upon request, like you do for your students, right? It is a complete 180 from what Mr. Richard, as they call him, did several years ago before coming to Rhodes. He worked in the oil field, where, according to his words, it was hot, dirty, and he worked alongside nothing but burly men. Now he's surrounded by almost entirely female staff. I think he's one of only 2 men, and of course children, and he is loving every minute of it. If we can take a look at the big surprise that was in store for him a little earlier this week.
Richard Singleton. I've worked here at T.O. Rose for 6 years, and I'm this month's Gold Star winner. I've never done a surprise birthday party or anything like that, but I was blown away.
Someone else also talked about, he is our quiet hero of the school. I say quiet because he cleans up our mess with a smile and he never complains. When something goes wrong, we know we can always count on him to save the day or the mess, and we love him.
Sweet women that always try to take care of me, always try to feed me and do something for me. They appreciate what I do back for them.
He always completes the usual tasks with a smile on his face. He brings a positive attitude to our school each day. However, it's the things that he doesn't have to do, but still does, that make Mr. Richard a star at our school. Students recognize how helpful he is, and they will even ask him to help tie their shoes.
They all want a hug or a high five or some kind of attention from Mr. Richard. So. And who could deny that he loves?
Then they talked about that we had dress-up day as a book character, and the pre-K teachers were dressing up as the characters from Winnie the Pooh. Well, they needed somebody to be Christopher Robin.
So, I think that it's kind of neat that you were Christopher Robin.
Yeah. They need somebody. I think I'm on and he couldn't take me down.
There are many stories like that where he has quietly made someone's day better. And for that reason, I hope that he is selected so he may know just how much of a positive impact he has on T.L. Rose. Let's give him a huge round of applause.
I couldn't see not coming to work and seeing all these babies' faces every morning. That's part of the pages. Come on, let's go get it. That's part of it.
Principal Liesl Metter calls Mr. Richard amazing, saying she doesn't have to ask him to do anything because he already has it done. She also said to let everyone know, especially Stacy Roche, they better not steal Mr. Richard away from her. It is my honor to introduce to you our April Gold Star winner, Richard Singleton. I'd like to ask that Jill Skaggs Valentine from Bossier Federal Credit Union come forward. Of course, Bossier Federal is our sponsor of the Gold Star, and so we have a special presentation for Mr. Richard. And we also have an award of excellence for you because you exemplify excellence in everything that you do. And we're so glad that we were able to get you out of the oil field to come work for us. For Bossier Schools and at T.L. Road. So congratulations, well deserved. And finally, the icing on the cake. You've probably heard a lot by now about Bossier School's inaugural I3 Art Expo coming to the Bossier Civic Center May 3rd through 5th, and we're so excited about this. There is so much planned, and we cannot wait for all of our second graders to attend. And it is truly going to be a celebration of Bossier Parish students. Mr. Thompson, would you please cue the music? Members of our Bossier Schools family, the I3 Art Expo mascot. all things STEAM. Let's give a big hand to our I3 mascot. Each of them brings his or her own unique gifts and talents to the forefront, just as our students in Bossier Parish do. And that is the purpose of our I3 Art Expo, to showcase our students' many gifts and talents. It is quite the celebration, and Kelly is our awesome leader who is pulling all of this together. It is quite the monumental task, and she is here to tell us a little bit more about what will take place beginning, oh my gosh, this makes us sweat, 2 weeks from today, beginning on May 3rd. So Ms. Kelly, if you'll please come forward.
Inspiration, imagination, and innovation. Inspiring students to use their imagination, which leads to innovation. Well, this vision is not only inspiring students, Mr. Smith, it has inspired the entire I3 team. Inspired us to use our imagination to be innovative in showcasing the many talents of Bossier Parish students right here at our very own Bossier Civic Center, May 3rd through 5th, where we will focus on the showcasing of many components of the arts, offer a literacy initiative, and place an emphasis on STEAM. And with that, we have offered 5 areas of competition: visual arts, photography, music, theater, and short film awards. We're offered an inspired authors showcase of literary works, and STEAM showcase, which features artwork created using science, technology, engineering, and/or math. The Bossier Parish Library will be on site to offer information about their summer reading program, and in the evening and Saturday, allow students, along with their parents, to sign up for a library card. We're hosting a book fair and encouraging art appreciation by offering an art scavenger hunt. Approximately 2,000 second graders will visit I3 Art Expo on Thursday and Friday to take part in 3 rotations titled Inspiration, Imagination, and Innovation. Film screenings will be offered on Thursday and Friday evening, where you can view the films created by our students, and you can vote for your favorite for the People's Choice Award. Thursday night, you can support our theater students as they compete in 3 categories of competition. And Friday night, our music students would love your attendance as they also compete in 3 different categories. Both of these competitions offer an original works category. You can expect a full day of fun on Saturday as we roll our annual Bossier Schools Showcase into our event. We'll feature book readings by our very own Bossier Parish Schools employees who have published works, and some of our artists will share their talents on stage. Our guests will be able to engage in many destination imagination challenges and enjoy the Disability Walk, which is over 300 feet of artwork created by many of our special needs students. I3 Art Expo will conclude on Saturday at 4 o'clock with an awards ceremony where we will recognize all winners of our competition. This will be an amazing 3-day event that each day will offer something new and different. I hope that you will join us.
It is going to be so much fun, and we do want to extend a special thanks to our sponsors who are helping make the I3 Art Expo possible. These are those that wanted to invest in Bossier Schools because they know that we have something very special going on here in Bossier Parish. So if you'll just allow me to give a quick shout out to, first of all, the City of Bossier City for being our co-sponsor. A big thanks also to Citizens National Bank. They're sponsoring our award ceremony. Bossier Federal Credit Union, they are the sponsor of our Bossier Schools Showcase. Our media partner, Bossier Press Tribune, be looking for your May 2nd edition of the Bossier Press. They are publishing a 16-page pullout section all about our I3 Art Expo. That is quite phenomenal. Shreveport Bossier Family Dental Care Care for Kids, Christus Bossier Emergency Hospital, the Bossier Parish Police Jury, the Cyber Innovation Center, Bossier Parish Community College, Builder Supply, Oasis Printing, Bossier Parish Libraries, Bossier Arts Council, and there are others. It is going to be a fantastic event. We are very, very excited about it. We invite everyone to come out for the Ivory Art Expo to celebrate our students, and Izzy, Ike, and Ivy cannot wait to meet you. So let's bless them, because it is going to be a celebration. And that concludes my report.
No, you can't follow that. 3.01, request consideration for the adoption of resolution providing authorizing the advertising for sealed bids for the purchase of $10 million of general obligation school bonds, Series 2018, a parish-wide school district of the Parish of Bossier, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith, presented by Frank Rougeau, Chief Financial Officer.
That was a mouthful. Superintendent Smith, President Brotherton, we are here tonight to something we've been working on for the last several months. We're finally there and ready to move forward. We have Mr. Gary Osborne, our bonding attorney here from Foley New Dale. We also have our financial advisor for the bond issue, Lee Bressler from Raymond James Company. So they're here to answer any questions that you have. There's a couple of things that I just wanted to point out in this resolution, that the sale, we've talked about it, we wanted to look for the very best time that we could sell our bonds, where we could have the most competition, which would give us the best interest rate, the lowest interest rate. So we've looked at a date for the sale on May the 30th at 11 o'clock in the morning. I know that's not traditional with anything that we've done. They've looked at the market, and Mr. Bressler has assured us that this would be an ideal time for us to go out and sell a bond. So we just need to make sure that on that day that we can have a quorum of the full board here to be able to proceed with the sale. So we wanted to talk about that tonight. I know Superintendent Smith had already sent out some information to you about that. We wanted to answer any questions that you might have and just make sure that we were all on board to move forward with this $10 million bond sale. So Mr. Osborne and Mr. Bressler are here to answer any questions as well. So this is nothing new that you haven't seen before that we've gone over a couple of months ago. We're just at the point where we're able to do this at this time.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Cheatham and a second by Mr. Wiggins. Please vote. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3.02, request the consideration for the adoption of resolution authorizing the incurring of debt and issuance of $10 million of general obligation school bonds, Series 2018, a parish-wide school district of the Parish of Bossier, State of Louisiana, prescribing the form, terms, and conditions of said bonds, designating the date, denomination, and place of payment of said bonds, providing for the payment thereof in principal and interest, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Presented by Frank Rougeau, Chief Financial Officer.
This is the same information that we looked at a couple of months ago as far as the schedule of payment, incurring the debt, and being able to have the money in our sinking fund from our property tax millage to be able to service this $10 million debt indebtedness with what we already have incurred at this point. So we do have a schedule we can put up if we need to talk about that. Mr. Bressler and Mr. Othman are here as well, so whatever the board's pleasure.
Do we need to see the schedule?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Kelly, a second by Mr. Wiggins. Please vote.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Motion passes. 3.03, request of policy IKPC, the religious expression and activities on campus and at school events.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bullard and a second by Mr. Cheatham. Discussion. Mr. Lott.
Thank you, Madam President. I've talked to a couple members, and I'm wondering if there would be any interest in discussing this more in executive session, or we want to discuss it out in our regular board meeting.
I think we need to check with Mr. Wright.
Thank you. I just want to say hello to Mr. Osborne. I know he drove a good way to sit here and answer any questions you might have. I deal with them across the state, and they're good folks. The point that Mr. Lott made could be added to the agenda as an executive session with a unanimous vote. We would identify the court case that was involved, but it would take a unanimous vote to enter into the executive session. If anyone has any questions they would like to ask me, but that would be the appropriate procedure to do.
We have a motion now. I'm not sure what our procedure is.
You could add a substitute motion to add an item to the agenda, or it could be, the motion on the table could be withdrawn to allow you to make the motion to amend the agenda.
What's going to be, Mr. Bullard?
Out of respect for my colleagues, I'll withdraw the motion this time, subsequent to similar declaration.
In addition, I would request that if that does receive the vote to add it to the agenda, that it be placed at the bottom with the other executive sessions so that we would not burden the public with multiple executive sessions. But the case that is at issue is Doe 1 through 4 versus Bossier Parish School Board and Scott Smith. It's pending in the Western District of Louisiana. And that is the court case that is involved.
I don't know if there's any interest, may just be me, but I'll make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss those court cases before we vote on passing or whatever on this policy change.
And Madam President, it would simply, if Mr. Lott could restructure that to be a motion to add the item as a potential executive session, we would need to vote. I hate to be a stickler, but that's what we need to do. And it would be a motion to add the discussion of prospective litigation and strategy in the matter of Doe 1 through 4 versus Bossier Parish School Board Scott Smith. We need to add that to the agenda first.
Madam President, I move that we add this onto our executive session for later on as what our legal counsel just advised for wording.
I have a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Lott, and a second by Mr. Van Burg. Now, do you vote? Do you vote now?
This is to add it to the agenda?
This is to add it to the agenda. Please vote. Motion passes. It will be added to the agenda. 3.04, report, the Audit and Security Committee meeting held April the 19th, 2018, presented by Bill Lott, chairperson.
Thank you, Madam President. Earlier today, April 19th, 2018, at 4:30 p.m., the Audit Security Committee met, having one item for board action. That was the presentation of the annual financial report for the year ended June 30, 2017 by Allen Green and Williamson LLP external auditors. The outcome on that was that it was, the committee recommends that the Bossier Parish School Board accept the annual financial report for year ended June 30, 2017 to be approved at the next full board meeting we have. I'm not sure that date. Present and voting, it was unanimous vote. Also present during that meeting, besides our committee, was Mike Masura and Frank Kelly, and ex officio officers Billy Joe Burlington and Shane Cheatham, vice president.
Is that a committee? Please vote.
We're voting to postpone until the next meeting. That is the recommendation.
Yes. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Lott. Motion passes. 3.05, report, the Insurance Committee meeting held April the 19th, 2018, presented by Dennis Bamberg, chairperson.
Insurance Committee met today at 5 p.m. Committee members present were Dennis Bamberg, Sandra Darby, and Frank Kelly. We had no actionable items. We just had a discussion where Mary Smith, the owner of Access Health, presented a proposal for health care from Access Health. So there was no actionable items, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Bamberg. We are now at 3.06, the request, the approval of trip request.
These are in order, Madam President. So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Cheatham and a second by Ms. Darby. Please vote. Motion passes. 3.07, request, enter into executive session pursuant to the provisions of LARS 4217A1 to discuss personnel matter. Also, 3.08, request, enter into executive session pertinent to the provisions of Louisiana Revised Statutes 4217A2 to discuss the matter styled Lemon et al. In the United States of America versus Bossier Parish School Board et al. Civil action number 564-10687 WDLA. And enter 3.9, enter into executive session to discuss what Mr. Cox said.
I've got it here. Got it here for the minutes. It's those 1 through 4 versus Bossier Parish School Board and Scott Smith in his official capacity. It is pending in the United States Western District Court, bearing civil action number 5:18 CB 152.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bamberg, a second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote.